Hi guys and welcome to the series of reading articles online. Today I decided to choose another article on Live Science. This is my favorite website of all time to read news about science. So today's news is about climate change. Let's continue reading to figure out what's going on. So climate change causes a mountain peak frozen for thousands of years to collapse. Okay, so Flintstone in the Silvretta Alps is now around 60 feet. By the way, I am so sorry and please forgive me if I mispronounce the words here like Silvretta Alps because I've never encountered before. But yeah. Anyway, so shorter than it was before, and more mountains are expected to follow suit as temperatures thaw the permafrost holding them together. Part of a Swiss mountain summit and collapsed, sending more than 3.5 million cubic feet, around 100,000 cubic meters, of rock crashing into the valley below. The incident was likely a result of thawing permafrost, and scientists have warned similar events are to be expected as climate change causes ancient frozen ground to degrade. The incident occurred on June 11th after an extensive period of high temperatures in the country. Video revealed the sudden collapse of Flintstone Summit, an almost 11,155-foot mountain. Wait, it's just so boring. I think it's something that is actually captivating me, but okay. I should go to my regular website and normally read news and answer some discussion questions. Oh my god, I always stutter like this. I think this is a pretty good website to practice your speaking and your reading skill. Okay, so let's just read the news that pop up the first. So, reading math scores continue to fall for US kids. Oh, really? That is shocking. That is literally kind of like really unexpected because I think that the US has the best universities, institutions in the world, like Harvard or like Columbia University. Well, no offense, but that news is actually flabbergasting. Alright, so we have some new words. First, we have report card. I bet that all of you guys know the word here, but let's just go through it. Okay, so report card means it is normally used in American. It means a document sent to students' parents that describes the academic performance, behavior in class, etc. An example of it is after seeing his report card, Jimmy realized that he need to study harder for his science exam. Next, we have erase. It means to delete or remove. Mark accidentally erased the last chapter of his novel and had to rewrite it. Oh my god, I gotcha. It is really frustrating if you have to do that. Like you accidentally do something on like not on purpose and then you have to do it all over again. Just imagine how how you make it a mess. Well, next we have catch up. It means to reach the same level, standard, etc. as someone or something else. Keep at it. To persist or continue with a task, activity, or goal despite difficulties. Learning a language is tough, but keep at it and you'll be fluent in no time. Devastating, causing a lot of damage, causing a lot of shock or sadness. 2 devastating earthquakes hit Nepal in 2015. And last but not least, we have a word reverse. It means to change something so that it is the opposite of what it was before. The judge reversed his early decision after the police found new evidence about the case. Okay, so here's the new for advanced level. Reading math scores continue to fall for US kids. Math reading scores among America's 15-year-olds have fallen to the lowest levels in decades, with math scores falling by the largest amount ever recorded. That's according to the results of a test known as the nation's report card. The results provide another example of the effect of the coronavirus pandemic on children's learning, more than 2 years after the most students returned to in-person class. In the national sample of 13-year-old students, average math scores fell by 9 points between 2020 and 2023. Reading scores fell by 4 points. The test, called the National Assessment of Educational Progress, was taken by 8,700 students in each subject from October to December 2020. 2022. Math and reading scores had been slipping before the pandemic, but the latest results show a drop that erases earlier gains in the years leading up to 2012. Scores in the math exam, which has been given since 1978, 1973 are now the lowest level since 1990. Reading scores are the lowest since 2004. The results come after the US spent billions of dollars to help students catch up after the pandemic. The government sent large amounts of money to schools in 2021, allowing many to expand tutoring, summer classes, and other recovery efforts. But the nation's 13 years old, who were 10 when the pandemic started, are still struggling, said Peggy G. Carr from the Educational Department. But they're still my age, like, yeah, these 13 years olds are actually gonna go to high school in the US, but yeah, I am still in middle school based on the Vietnamese curriculum because each countries have different standard of curriculum because ninth grade is regarded as high school, but ninth grade here in Vietnam is still in middle school. The strongest advice I have is that we need to keep it, she said. It is a long road ahead. Education Secretary Margio Cardona said the results confirmed what the government knew all along, that the pandemic would have a devastating impact on students learning across the country, and it would take years of effort and investment to reverse the damage. What are your thoughts on the results from the nation's report card? Well, at first, I found it very kind of like shocking and really unexpected because I didn't really expect that one of the largest kind of like the wealthiest country actually has that low rate of students. But yeah, it's totally understandable and reasonable to kind of like you have to make a very recovery after the pandemic and the quarantine. Like after a very long time you have to learn and communicate with your classes, with your teachers from your laptops, your phones. So it's totally understandable if you cannot catch up with the real lectures in person or directly. So yeah, I think that after that I feel is kind of reasonable and explainable. Do you find it surprising that math scores are the lowest in over 30 years? Yeah, it is extremely kind of like surprising and really like it's new. Like I don't really expect that. I mean, with the growing technology, with the development of different technological devices, I thought that students are supposed to receive the best education in the past decades, but it turned out that math scores are even lowest after 20 years. So it kind of like surprising and really caught me off guard. So yeah. Next, how are schools in your country affected by this pandemic? I think that it's pretty much recovered dramatically since the end of the pandemic now because COVID-19 is nearly eradicated. Like it's nearly end of the era of pandemic. So I hope that all the educational system will soon recover and figure out the best alternative and kind of like technique to help the students with their studies, because I know that many of you guys are falling behind your classes and you really need a lot of assistance and help from your teachers. So yeah, I think my schools in my country now are recovering very fast at a very kind of like astonishing speed. The teachers and the students are now catching up with the classes pretty quick, and they can pretty understand and kind of like interpret the lectures without asking again. So yeah, that's a good sign that probably my country educational system will soon thriving. Yeah. Do you think online classes are as effective as in-person classes? Why not? Well, I think personally, I found online classes are really distracting and overwhelming for me because whenever I just kind of like open Zoom and join any online classes, I actually never pay attention to my teachers lecturing, but I just kind of like scroll down TikTok or YouTube, or sometimes I do my personal stuff. So I think that when you're actually kind of like immersing yourself in the classroom in person, you have kind of like intimate interaction with your classmates, with your teachers in person, it will be more effective because you can ask them without any hesitation, and you have to be extra focused because your teachers will not forgive you or not kind of like get you over with it if you don't take notice of the classes. So yeah, that's my personal thought. Do you prefer reading or math when you were 13 years old? Which is last year because now I'm 14 years old. But personally, I always love reading. Like, can read any genre. Recently, I have challenged myself by stepping out of my comfort zone and challenged myself by risk reading another genre that I extremely hate. It is romantic novel because I think romantic novel is really absurd and really kind of like foolish to think of love at first sight, whatever it is. But after reading the book Better Than the Movies of Lee Painter, my mindset totally changed. Like, I realized that it was not that bad, and I actually enjoyed myself when I was reading those stories. So yeah. And for math, I kind of like not that good at math because I'm not good at memorizing and putting formulas or theory into practice or exercises. Sometimes it just kind of like forget and don't remember anything in the exams. But yeah, but I was kind of like captivated and mesmerized by how math works, so I always try my best to improve my mathematic knowledge by watching extra lectures online through Khan Academy, which I think is a very beneficial and resources to make the most of. Alright, so here's some further discussion questions. What were your favorite subjects when you were in school? Currently I am in school right now, but my favorite subject of all time is definitely English because English is just easy for me. It is not that challenging compared to other subjects like require memorization like history or literature, or don't require that much logic or problem solving skills like mathematics or physics. So yeah, I think English is literally so interesting and amazing, and it always, like, whenever I just discover something new in English, I'm just in awe by how amazing it is. Were there any school subjects that you found particularly challenging? As you guys may suggest, it is mathematics, chemistry, or physics. Those are really overly depend on memorization of formulas and being able to practically apply those kind of formulas into your exercises. So that's my personal opinion. But I think that's pretty much because now I have to post this on my YouTube channel. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.